from the WDWL TV multiplex, live from Studio G, we proudly present the pride of the station, The Two Grumpies, starring the grumpy old man, me, and the grumpy vulture. Take your bow. Oh, very nice, very nice. Jeez. Vanilla? Vanilla? Did you douse yourself in vanilla? Oh my God! I think you're losing your mind, and everybody says I'm losing mine. Get back in your corner, Stinky. Oh, I shouldn't even let you face the camera. Well, friends, what do you think of the newest studio in the multiplex, Studio G? I think it's kind of classy, especially with the fancy gold up at the top here. And we have look at this. We have a map, a world map. Not the whole world, but the important part, mainly showing the United States. And we have this fancy new flat screen back here. And then, oh, come on, this one. This is basically a rolling, like a Rolodex of news stories. I don't know why they have that, but hey, whatever the CEO wants, I guess he gets. They haven't told me what this studio is going to be used for yet. So I haven't the slightest idea. It's also the smallest studio in the multiplex. Believe me, when I say small, it's about the size of two closets put together. I don't know what they're going to use it for. It's really too small to do much of anything. Barely can get one person behind the camera, so. But this is, like I said, the CEO said, every time we complete a new studio, I get to give it its premiere debut. So, here we are, Studio G. I really like it. I like the gold. You know, they built this for a special reason. They had to. You know, it's kind of too fancy to be a regular studio. So, it'll be interesting to see what we use it for. But, as the CEO promised, I get to introduce the new studios, and there are two more under construction right now. That much I did find out. Remember when I said there were two or three? Well, three. Here's one, and two more that should be finished next couple of weeks, I guess. But we're expanding the multiplex like crazy. Like I say, I don't know what he's going to do with all these studios. I get the impression he's going to be leasing them out to streaming services, you know, like Netflix and, you know, Hulu, and I don't know. I doubt if Disney's going to be interested in leasing a studio from us, but who knows? With all the new streaming services popping up, Jesus. Every time I turn around, there's a new one. I can't I went in the other day just to see how many streaming services there are, and I'm like, oh, geez. Like this one, Peacock. Is that part of NBC? Is Peacock an NBC streaming studio station? They're using, if not, somebody's going to get a copyright infringement because they're using the simulated Peacock deal. Today I mentioned to a friend of mine that it's really sad. Almost every bookstore is closed up. I'm not sure if the one out at Davy Crockett Park is still open or not. I remember when I would look out the back window of my doctor's office, I would see, I think it's Barnes & Noble, I'm not positive. I got to find out if it's still open. And my friend said, books, you can get them online. I know I can get them online. I tried it online. It's enough to drive you crazy trying to read a book on a tablet. I'm old-fashioned. I'm old school. I want print in my hand. Like magazines. At one time, I subscribed to 4 different auto magazines. And when it would come time for the renewing of the subscription, they send you that, it's going to be $62. And if you ignored it long enough, it would drop to like 10. So then I would renew. Well, the last time the 4 of them came up for renewal, I ignored the renewal notice completely, waiting for that bargain. I guess they had enough of me doing it year after year after year because I never got that $10 or $12, super subscription price. You're such a loyal customer, we don't want to lose you. Well, I guess after the last subscription ran out on the 4 of them, they were like, get rid of this asshole. So I don't get my auto magazines anymore. I do subscribe to Reader's Digestion. I like that magazine. The only thing is, I hadn't had a subscription with Reader's Digestion for years. I get a thing in the mail. Would you like to try, a subscription? Only $12. Regular newsstand price, like $72. $72? So, I subscribed. Now, when I used to get Reader's Digest, it was 300 to 325 pages. I got my first issue, and I was like, what the hell's this? I took it out, and there was like nothing to it. I was like, no, this can't be it. This has got to be some kind of advertisement magazine. Oh, it was Reader's Digestion, all right. It's down to like 110 pages. I'm like, what the hell happened? Did people like stop writing articles? Did people stop sending in jokes? What? You still have the joke things. Like humor, humor in uniform and campus comedy. But at 110 pages, it used to be 310 pages. And you don't get a full year. You only get 10, not 12 issues. I said, thank God it was only $12 because I would have refused to pay that. That's like I used to get the Farmer's Almanac. And then I don't know why I stopped subscribing to it. I really like the Farmer's Almanac. I get a subscription, regular price, $58 for 14. I'm thinking to myself, do I really need the Farmer's Almanac again? Sure, it was $14. So I threw it in the garbage. I don't know why magazines, like my Fort Auto magazines, why they didn't send me out a notice. Are they getting that cheap? They're charging their advertisers a fortune. They're making their money. Now, I know it's expensive to print magazines, and they'd rather have you do them online. But I'm not paying full price. No, Grumpy is cheap. So, I don't get any automotive magazines anymore. I really used to enjoy them. That same thing, I used to love going to the auto show. I went every single year until they stopped with all of the concept cars. The concept cars that they were showing were basically like almost ready for production models, with no door handles, no chrome, and then when the car comes out, it's the same damn thing they had at the auto show with door handles and chrome. And they used to have some really neat concept cars back in the day. Oh, God. There was one, I've mentioned it before, the Chrysler Atlantic. It looked like a Bugatti from the 30s or 40s. And it had a lot of interest. I don't know why they didn't produce it. They came out with that Prowler. What a waste of time that car was. Oh, it looked like a real hot rod with a V6 and an automatic. That's a waste of a car. Then they wonder why it didn't sell. If you wanted it to sell, put a V8 in it with a stick. Make it a real sports car. So my friend is like, bugging me. Why do you want a book? Well, you can get it online. Any book on the market, you can get it online. Get it. I don't want it online. I want something I can hold in my hand. I know I could hold my tablet in my hand. I like a print book. there are some times I like to do things like read. And he tells me, he says, "Oh, books are going off the market. They're passe. People don't want books anymore. If people don't want books anymore, why are there people writing books? Every day, somebody comes out with a new book. The New York Times bestseller list. They're books, real hardcover books. So people are still writing books. But it's sad, there's hardly any bookstores. And I hate going out to Davy Crockett Park. Oh, gee. When you get off the freeway at the exit out there, it's like a demolition derby. I never saw more asshole people in my life that didn't know how to drive. Thank God I only have to go to that doctor once a year, because I told him. I said, getting off the freeway at the exit out here is like Suicide Alley. I don't know why they moved the office out there. But right behind his office was a bookstore. I think it's Barnes and Noble. Don't quote me. I gotta find out if it's still open. Because in the spring, when the snow is gone, I want to go out and browse the books. I like books. I'll tell you how much I like books. I bought Steve Jobs' autobiography. It was 610 pages. I read it in 2 nights. It was written so well, I couldn't put it down. Not to mention, I've always been interested in, the kind of behind the scenes, real Steve Jobs. But yeah, I read like 305 pages the first night. And then I finished it the second night. 610 pages. I just got through reading Mel Brooks' autobiography. It was like 506 pages. I read that in 3 nights, mainly because I didn't feel like reading that much the second night. I like to read. And the strange thing is, I hated it when I was in school. Oh my God. As soon as a teacher would say, "Okay, we need to do book reports," I'd go to the damn bookstore and look for the Cliff Notes right away, the shortened, condensed version. Oh, I hated to read when I was in school. Oh my God. I don't know, maybe it's a senior thing. It always seems like, book clubs are all senior citizens. When you go to the library, senior citizens. Matter of fact, they built a new one down the corner. I don't know why. They had a perfectly good one. Then they built the new one, and then they tore down the building. That building could have been used for something. I don't understand. What a waste of money. And they turned it into a parking lot. They didn't need that big of a parking lot. It's unfortunate not that many people make use of a library anymore. And then a perfectly good building, that nothing was wrong with it, that could have been turned into a senior center or a crisis center, or, there could have been so many uses for that building, and they tore it down. And they made this big, giant parking lot for a library that nobody hardly uses. That is sad. Now, somebody said, yeah, they had to expand the computer section. Well, I can see that because people don't actually read books anymore. But I hate online books. Now, a friend of mine, she buys audiobooks. I've tried an audiobook. I don't like it. I didn't like that one. I didn't like the voice of the person narrating the book. Was kind of irritating. But yeah, it's a big thing, audiobooks. And then, the e-books that they call them. I tried it. When I bought my Amazon Fire tablet, I got 4 free e-books. So I downloaded 2. Matter of fact, I still got 2 free ones coming. I read the first one, and I got about halfway through the second one, and I was like, reading on a tablet is, first of all, it's hard on the eyes, and second of all, it's a pain in the ass, because you can only make the print so large. So, Grumpy is not an e-book reader. I'm one of these people, I want to keep the publishers going. Although, being cheap, I wait for like a year before I buy a book. Like Steve Jobs' book. It was originally brand new, hardcover, like $38. I wanted to read it. Not for $38. So I waited a year. I bought a used library copy because the Amazon has a used book area. This was a used library copy, $5.10. I don't know why they called it used. I don't think it was ever off the shelf. This thing was as new and crisp as the day it came from the publisher. That's how I buy my books. I buy them used. Every time I have bought one, they're like brand new. I'll be the first one to admit, I have every single book that Joan Rivers ever wrote. And then I had the special edition that her daughter compiled after she passed away. I bought every one of them used. There's this one, I can't remember the name of the bookseller. They deal in library copies. Every time I bought a book from them, I don't think it was ever cracked open. But I also bought them for $5 to $7. So, I don't buy new. But I'd like to go out to, if the bookstore is still at Davy Crockett Park, I would like to go out and browse and see what books I would be interested in. and then go on the Amazon cheap line and buy it used. I've never bought a brand new book. Believe me. I know the publisher needs to recoup that big stipend that they gave the author to write the book. But you know, when I found out what an author makes off a book, I said, I'm not buying them brand new. Because when I worked for the limousine service, I had an author that was going around. I took her to a bunch of bookstores for book signings. And I says to her, do you really make much off a book that sells for like $35? And she says, no. I said, can I be nosy and ask? And she says, yeah. We make about $1.50 a book. That's it. Now, she wouldn't tell me that stipend they get up front. But when there's a book selling for $35 and the author's only getting $1.50 per book, you ain't making much. Especially, you know, if you don't sell like 100,000 books. Especially today. People don't buy them that much. Oh, you know, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, a best-selling author made big money on a book. She told me $1.50. That was what she made. And even though I enjoyed the book because she gave me a freebie, she never made it to the top 5 on the New York Times bestseller list. I think she made it to like number 10. If you're not in the top 5, there's a lot of people aren't going to bother with your book because they're like, gee, if it was rated number 10, it must not be that great. So anybody that thinks these authors are making big money off a book sale, they're not. Now, if you're an author that's writing a repeat, you know, say you've had 3 or 4 that have been on the, you know, you're a top-selling author, maybe you're going to make more money. But at $1.50, don't seem worth it to me. That's why I'm not writing any books, people. I'll read them. I won't write them. Although I don't think anybody would want to hear what Grumpy had to say in a book anyway. It's bad enough when I check my algorithm. When I look and see how long out of an hour stream people listen. The majority give it about 10 minutes. And then they're like, yep, screw Grumpy, click, delete. Yeah, I look at my algorithm quite often just to see what kind of time I get. Now, there are about 4 people that listen to the whole stream. Those I really appreciate. And 2, nightly. That that is outstanding. And the two of you know who you are. I really love it to know that I'm talking to at least two people right now. Mainly because they'll click in a like. I could have 100 people listening right now. If you don't hit that like, I don't know who you are. You know, it's real easy to go on Faceplant and click a like. That's click the like. And then you'll register. And I have two that register in every single stream. I love it. I'm talking to at least two people, not myself. I've looked at some of the algorithm per show. Some of them get like 3 views. Some get 2. Some get 1. I'm like, gee, I'm only talking to one person. So go in on Faceplant, people, if you're listening, and just click the like. You don't have to comment. You don't have to say anything. I would like to see more than the same two people. I would like to see some new people. I'd like to get out of 52 subscribers. By the end of the month, I'd like to see 60. It don't cost you nothing. All you people on YouTube that are listening to this stream, just hit subscribe. That's it. You don't have to click the notification bell for everything. Just hit subscribe. I'd like to see my subscribers come up a little more. I've gotten to the point, certain people that I follow on YouTube, I've been begging them, can you let me up on one of your live streams sometime? Can I get a little exposure? Nobody has taken me up on my begging yet. But yes, I would like to be on somebody's live stream. Just to get a few more subscribers. So far, nobody's offered. I've gotten to the point I've been begging. Even the people I'm begging are like, please stop begging already. You're not coming up on my live streams. No. And these are people I follow regularly. And they know it because I go in the chat and I comment. So they see me. You think they'll let me up? No. They're afraid to, I guess. Afraid I might say something offensive. And I'm thinking, me? Offend people? Oh, not grumpy. Maybe, I hate this camera. The bird, there we go. He might offend somebody. I know he offends me. Oh, he smells like vanilla tonight. Jesus. That'll be the last time that I make the comment. He smells like the roadkill he's been eating. Between the shampoo and the perfume, and then today, he doused himself in vanilla. Hey. I was going to go to the store today, and I looked outside and I was like, first of all, we got a little more snow last night. Okay, no big deal. Then I looked at the truck. I've got a low tire. I'm like, oh, Jesus. Of all time sport to go low. Yeah, I have, for some unknown reason, my two back tires have some kind of slow leak that they can't find. I went to the tire shop and they took the rear tires off and they dunked them in a big bucket. No air bubbles. I said, can't you just put some sealer on? No. We have to see a leak. I said, well, I drove in here and you saw that the tires were down like 10 pounds each. In order to do something, we have to see a leak. You saw them in the big tub. No air bubbles. Where do we seal? Yeah, about every 3 weeks, I got to go out and air up the tires because they leak down. They can't find the leak. In order to seal a leak, you have to have a leak. No leak. He said, well, maybe it's porous rims. Okay. If you inflate the tire to maximum pressure and you put it in the dunk bucket, porous leak is going to have bubbles in the water. No bubbles. I don't know where these things are leaking from. But about every 3 weeks, I have to put air in the two back tires. I said, do me a favor. Break them down, clean the rims, put some bead sealer on them, and reinflate them, and let me see what happens. They're not leaking. They're not leaking. They were down 10 pounds each. I'm not sucking the air out of them. He tells me I can't seal something if it ain't leaking. And these were new tires. Last spring, brand new tires. They can't find the leak, but they are leaking. He even had the damn thing in the dunk tank for like 15 minutes. No bubbles nowhere. He said, where do you want me to seal? I said, oh, all right, never mind. I'll buy a couple of cans of Fix-A-Flat. He was like, oh, no, that's the worst shit you can put in a tire. He's like, well, maybe it'll stop them leaking. He said they're not leaking. So evidently, there is a tire ferry that stops at my house and every now and then lets a few pounds out of my tires. Because that must be the only way I'm losing air. I don't understand why these tires are losing air when you can't find a leak. Where is the air going? It don't evaporate, it's air. But yeah, every 3 weeks, I'll be down 8 or 10 pounds on a tire. And they go down so gradual you don't notice it until one day you're like, whoa. Yeah, matter of fact, I pull in to the tire shop and he's like, oh, no, we can't do anything. We can't find a leak. Don't bring me a tire and tell me to seal it. It don't have a leak. So evidently, I have a little air fairy that doesn't like me. That stops by every now and then and lets out like a half a pound, then maybe a pound. These tires are driving me crazy. He said, well, if you have porosity in your aluminum rim, it's going to be such a slow leak, we're not going to be able to see it. Buy some new rims. Oh, yeah. Buy some new rims. First of all, I have looked for rims. Every time a Nissan goes to pull apart, by the time I get there, the rims are gone. So evidently people are having problems with old rims. Second of all, the ones that you find online, people want more for the rims than what my truck is worth. Now, I did find steel wheels. I'd have to buy 4 because then they wouldn't match. You'd have aluminum on the front and steel on the back. So evidently, what I'm going to have to do is like every month buy a rim. As soon as I got all 4, go to steel wheels, which I don't want to do. Because aluminum wheels are the easiest to balance, for one. And for 2, they stay in balance longer than a steel rim. I don't want steel wheels. And then, Nissan, they're brilliant engineers. It's a 1-ton truck. No, it's a 1/4 ton. Actually, it's less than 1/4 ton, but they rate it a 1/4 ton. It should have 4-lug rims. All right, or 5. No, this has got 3/4 ton rims on it, 6-lug wheels. They're harder than hell to find. I don't know why Nissan put 3/4 ton rims on a less than a 1/4 ton truck. They must have got a deal on them at the factory. And it's the only truck that's that way. If you look at Toyota, they're either 4 or 5 lug. Nissan is the only damn thing with a 6-lug rim. And like I say, every time I see a 96 or, a 95, 96, 97, 98 Nissan pickup go in and pull apart, by the time I get there, the rims are gone. I says to the guy one day, I said, what happens to these rims? Oh, they're in demand. I said, I know, because they're harder to find than teeth on a chicken. Another major problem owning something over 25 years old. finding certain parts for it. I did find an outfit out of Texas that has steel wheels. They're like $40 a piece. I guess I'm going to have to break down and start buying the steel rims, which I don't want to do because now I got to pay to have 4 tires dismounted and remounted, which is very hard on the tire bead. So I guess I'm going to have to just keep airing them up until it's time for new tires. In the meantime, I'll buy the rims, and then I'll slowly buy a tire at a time. And when I got 4 tires, I'll make the big changeover, which is going to take forever because I don't drive that much. But every time you break down a tire, you loosen the bead. You never get a proper seal. Story of my life. Never a dull moment. Thank God I have my own compressor. It's a wonderful compressor. 2-cylinder. Got a nice gauge on it. You can set the pressure. As soon as it reaches pressure, it shuts itself off. I got a real deal on it. I think it was originally like $110. It was on sale for $48. I was like, whoa, I'm going to buy that. And I mean, it is. It's a wonderful compressor. Works fast. Who wants to stand out in 22-degree weather and air up a goddamn tire? Not grumpy. So tomorrow I'm going to slowly limp up to the tires. There's a tire store up on Lorraine. Free air. Of course, there's always a line every time you pull in there because people don't want to pay for air. And like the last time, I could have killed this. Evidently, this kid must have had a bad tire sensor. I hate these tire sensors. So he put air in the left front. Then he looked in and was like, oh, it wasn't that tire. Then he put air in the right front. And then he looked at the dash. It's not that tire. Then he went around to the left rear. Put air in the tire. Looked at the dash. Must not be that tire either. Then he went to the right rear. Put air in the tire. Looked at the dash. Light was still on. You think that he would stop there and figure, I must have a bad sensor? No. He cranked up the machine 2 more pounds. And he went on. When he got to the last tire, the second time around, I says to him, if you think you're going to do this a third time, I'm going to stick that air gauge up your ass and inflate your brain. To which he jumped in his car and got the fuck out of there because he said, this old man's crazy. These goddamn tire sensors are going bad all the time. I had a friend, I don't know how many times, she'd get a low tire warning. We'd go up, we'd air up all 4 tires, go to pull out of the lot, on and pop the light. And all she had was a light. Now, some of them, the newer cars, they have each wheel, so you know which one. These tire sensors are known to go bad. There's got to be some way of bypassing that system and just putting regular valve stems in the goddamn tires. Yeah, I know the manufacturers put them in because people are bad about keeping tire pressures up. But these sensors constantly go bad. And they tell you, they recommend replacing all 4. Tire sensors aren't cheap. I would replace them, all right, with regular valve stems and use a tire pressure gauge. But if it's a valve stem, you should be able to put an old school valve stem in the damn rim and do away with the stupid things. Either that, or if there's a fuse, pull the goddamn fuse for the sensors. You know, too much electronic bullshit on these new cars. Yeah, it was aggravating. She'd stop and go, can we run up to the tire store? Can you air up my tire? Yeah, okay. We'd air up all 4. The light would go out. Hey, we would no sooner get to the end of the driveway, on would pop the goddamn tire pressure light. I told her, I says, hey, we put 34 pounds in each tire. Don't worry about it. Ignore the light. More bullshit on these new cars. That was like when check engine lights first came out. People actually had the thought that if that light came on when you were driving, immediately pull off to the side of the road and call road service. I told as a matter of fact, the one day my buddy says to me, he says, hey, you got to go with me. He says, wife's broke down on the freeway. I said, what do you mean? Well, the engine light came on. I said, yeah. Well, you're not supposed to drive your car. I said, was the car running all right? Was she driving along at 60, 70 miles an hour with no problem? Well, yeah. Then tell her to start the car and drive home. Yeah. Some people were under the, soon as that light comes on, quick, pull over, shut the engine off. It's going to blow up. No. I've driven with a check engine light on for years. Of course, I don't have to e-check, so I don't care. As long as you check your oil, check your coolant. If you got oil and coolant, screw it. Drive the car. Yeah. Both her and him were under the impression if that light ever come on, whoa, you're going to blow the engine up quick. Pull over, shut it off. Computers belong on desks or in laptops. Computers don't belong in cars. That's like these infotainment centers. Everything on your car is controlled in that little box. If that little box goes bad, it's not covered under your bumper-to-bumper warranty, people. Oh, they won't tell you that at the dealership until you get in there. It is not covered. It says powertrain, not electronics. Ask your dealer. I told that to my sister. She goes, oh, I got bumper-to-bumper warranty on my car. I said, it don't cover your infotainment center. And it doesn't. It says powertrain, not electronics. And those things can be up to like $3,000 to replace. That's the only time I recommend buying an extended warranty or an add-on warranty, which she did. And it spells out, it covers everything, including electronics. But your bumper-to-bumper warranty, people, don't cover your infotainment center. And they run too much crap off that thing. You mean to tell me you can't, manually set your fan, do this, do that? No. It's just a way for the goddamn manufacturers to eliminate extra switches and that, because they cost money, like your cruise control. That's not covered. And now, all them buttons in your steering wheel, after like the first year, no, they're not covered. I had a friend, part of their button system went out. Cost her $600. Warranty don't cover everything. So next time, you people with your newer cars, when you go into your dealer, ask the service writer what is and what isn't covered after the first year. And you'll be shocked to find out how much is not covered after the first year. On some cars, 6 months. After 6 months, that shit ain't covered. I told you I got a buddy that's got a Lincoln Navigator. It's got like 33-way adjustable front seats. I said, God forbid something goes haywire with one of them seats. You're screwed, buddy. Oh, yeah, heat, massage, all that. Yeah, its front seats are like lazy boys. Oh, I'd love to have one. on wheels at my desk. They're wonderful seats. I'd hate to pay to have them fixed. Especially them heating elements. Them goddamn seat heaters go out left and right. Because they're made in China. Just like my old RCA TV. Then I read an article today. Trump wants to do away with income tax. Everybody's like, yay! Read between the lines. He would stick tariffs on every import. Everything. If he sticks a tariff on electronics, the price is going to double. If he sticks a tariff on imported food products, the price is going to double. You think prices are high now? Wait. If he gets his way, wait. You know that $3 jar of imported olives that you're buying at the store? It'll be like $15. Because you think these countries are going to eat that increase? Oh, no. They're going to pass it on to you, Mr. Consumer. Any imported item, and believe me, the imported items are unbelievable. Read the article. It's in today's news. He wants to put tariffs on everything. Oh, he thinks it'll increase U.S. production. Well, it might, but if you're in a union state, it's going to be just as expensive. I can't afford to shop now the way it is. Every time I go to the store, something goes up in price. Everything's going up. Except my Social Security. That check only stretches so far. And if you seniors think it's tough to live now, imagine if everything has a tariff on it. You won't be able to buy food because the prices will be so goddamn high. Don't take my word for it. Read the article, gargle it. There was a big explanation today on the one news article I read. Oh, we're going to eliminate income tax. Yay! Yeah, well, you know, it goes from this hand out of this hand. It comes in your wallet and goes out. It's getting too expensive to live the way it is now. But that's just me bitching. Don't take my word for it. Read the news article. It's scary, people. It's enough to make me lose my hair. Oh, shit, it's gone already. Oh, fuck. What happened to my hair? Oh, here it is. Be losing that hair next. Damn thing with it. This drives me crazy. It only comes in dark right here in the middle. The rest of it's white, and then it don't go all the way. This is the goofiest freaking beard I ever saw. The top is, see, look. The top is dark, and then when you get down here, I know I'm strange. But if it's dark here, it should be dark down here. It's all growing out of the same chin. Makes no sense. And then you ought to see the products that they have for beards. You have a special beard shampoo. Then you have beard oil. You're supposed to oil your beard. And then, after you oil it, you have beard balm, which is like a beard butter. So you oil it, you butter it, you got this greasy mess, then you use your beard shampoo, then you have to oil it and balm it, and then shampoo it. Grumpy, don't play that game. Yeah, look this stuff up. I'm not kidding you. Look at all the beard shit. They got beard wax. Beard wax. I don't wax my car, let alone I'm going to wax my beard. Special beard brushes. Special beard combs. I have a comb. It's not a beard comb. It's out of a child's Barbie doll thing or some. There was a doll once you could comb its hair. That's what a grumpy uses. Comb it out with a child's beard comb. There, I didn't have to buy a special one. Yeah, it was a doll back in the day. You could make her hair grow, and then there was a crank on her back. You crank it back in, you make it grow, style it. That's what this comb came from. Whatever that doll was, this is the dolly comb. Works great on Grumpy's beard. Look at that. I don't have to buy a special beard comb. I use a little kid's comb. Works wonders. Oh, yeah. And then, they have that hair straightener for women's hair. Well, somebody capitalized on that and made a hot beard comb. Yeah. A hot beard comb. Oh, there's more shit for beards. Unbelievable. Back in the day, the only thing you had was mustache wax. You could, like Snidely Whiplash, you wax the end of your mustache, style it. Now, go to the store and take a look at all the products they have for men's beards. I still can't figure it out. You wash it, you oil it, you balm it, or butter it. Then it's so goddamn greasy, you gotta wash it. Then it's dry, so you oil it. Then, in order to get it to be soft, you butter it. But then it's all greasy. So you use the special beard shampoo and you wash it. It's a vicious circle. I guess manufacturers figured, why should women have all the fun with all the hair products in order to keep their hair nice and soft? And let's do it for men. And men are falling for that shit. Yeah, oil it, butter it, wash it. Oil it, butter it, wash it. Oil it, butter it, wash it. And then they're scented. I could see a guy sitting in his cubicle, and the guy next to him goes, "Gee, do I smell sandalwood? Oh yes, it's my new beard butter. Sandalwood scent. Oh, really? Ugh. I'm not kidding, folks. Check it out. They make beard oil and beard butter, or balm, whatever you want to call it, in every wood scent imaginable. You could go to work smelling like a fir tree or a pine tree, or you could go in smelling like rosewood or sandalwood. I didn't believe it. Check it out. It's enough to make you cry. All the shit in every scent imaginable. I don't think I'd like to go to work smelling like a pine tree. Could see somebody sitting in an office going, "Someone bring in a Christmas tree in the office, I smell pine." "No, Charlie, that's my beard." "You what?" "Oh, yes, I have pine scent. Beard butter." Oh. Look at, don't take my word for it. Check it out. Yes. Women have, flowery fragrances. Men have them earthy. Fir, cedarwood, pine. And they mix them too. You could have cedarwood pine or sandalwood fir. You could go to work smelling like any tree you want. Yeah, the manly scents. Pine. That way, you have your pine air freshener, your little Christmas tree, the little pine tree, and then you can scent your beard the same way. Like, oh, I like the smell of that in my car. I'll put it in my beard, and I can enjoy that aroma all day at work. Oh, I can see you people laughing out there, going, "Oh, he's so full of shit." Check it out. I'm not telling tales out of school, people. And with that, I think I will call it a stream. Me and the bird are going to do a sign off. Let me get my outro music. Watch, the tablet's going to go right to the intro music. See, I told ya. Damn thing got a mind of its own. Okay. Time for our outro.
But I know we'll be again.
or some snowy cold evening. Well, friends, the grumpy old man and the grumpy vulture will meet you again tomorrow night. And maybe from Studio G again. I'm going to beg. I like this studio. And with that, I bid you a wonderful evening.